was weird.
That was weird. Good thing you did it. I would not have known what to do.
That was odd. Odd. I say it was odd. Hi, everybody. Tiffany here. Welcome to my quilting life. It's Sunday. You know, sew Sunday. You know, the one where we sew on a Sunday? Yep, that's what I'm here for. Is to sew and entertain you on a Sunday. But hopefully you're like literally just watching on a TV while sewing with me, you know? Anyways, I'm on just a minute early because, you know, I just am. You may or may not see Thumper today. Tomorrow's his birthday. Well, the day we celebrate his birthday. And he's going to be 13. Yeah. But he's hiding. You guys haven't seen him in a while. Maybe we can coerce him out tomorrow morning when we do a mail opening. Yeah? Okay. Anyways, let's see who is all here. Oh, wow, this goes back for a while. Karen, Dawn, Shirley, Miki, Norma, Susan, Rose, Caroline, Catherine, Lori, Norma, Melena, Mary, Polly, Judy, Cherie, and lots more. Welcome, everybody, to another Sew Sunday. It seems like these episodes just fly by. There's hundreds. And when I say hundreds, I've been doing Sew Sundays for a very long time. Honestly, I don't even know how long. I don't even know when the anniversary of Tiffany's Quilting Life is. That's bad. Maybe I should pay attention. Maybe we should celebrate when I find out. Anyways, for today's project, no, we're not working on what's on the wall. That, if you want to pay attention to what's on the wall right there, that stuff, that's over on Eric's channel. We are doing the butterfly, the Tula butterfly quilt over on Treasure Heart Creations, my friend Eric. There'll be a link in the chat. So if you want to pay attention to what we're doing there, go subscribe to his channel. And we are on Saturdays at 5 p.m. Like literally this time, but yesterday. And next week at this time. All right, today's project, same as I did last week. Well, technically I started it the week before, but today's project comes from a bag like this with parts and pieces of something someone else was trying to make, same as the previous. There's a goal here. People send me stuff, and sometimes it's started projects, and this is just another one of those started projects. I have no idea what the person, whatever was trying to do with this. I never remember who I get these from either, by the way. Sorry, I get so much mail. I don't remember. But if you're out there, I'm going to finish it. People send me bags and they have unfinished projects. This one had a little note in it. The note says there are 9 patches. There's 14 each of a pink, blue, and a yellow. There's 12 solid squares that have 12 each, which are pink, blue, and yellow. It says there's 2.5 inch strips, but these are bigger than 2.5. So either way, maybe they were going to get cut down by 20 inches long. It also says there's 13 each of a pink, a blue, and a yellow of those. And then it says the squares should finish at 7 inches. And there's 28 squares total, or 28 squares of each color. They were, looks like going to make a 25 patch. I'm not sure. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure anything because that makes no sense if there's that many pieces. So I don't know. I'm just going to take and see what we got here. We got some 9 patches that have like a leafy print with blue. Some 9 patches that have some flower with blue. It looks like there's a theme to all of this. Okay, so this is 4 of each of a blue. Yep, 4 of each of a blueprint. So there must be, what did that note say? 14 each. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so there is 14 blue and 12 of these. And then we have yellow. Oh, it looks like the same as the blues. So one has flowers all over it, and one has leaves all over it. I'm not going to count them because I'm going to assume that this note is correct. And then, yeah, if I count these, let's see. These are stuck together. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 yellow squares. So it looks like the flower print and some yellow stuff. It looks like it's all coordinating fabric too. Then we have a pink flower and then a pink leaf. Why does it feel like there's more of these? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, there's 7. Okay. And then a whole pile of pink go with it squares. And then there are some strips that the note says 2.5 inch, but these are not 2.5 inches. These are 3 inches. So there's 3-inch. Let's see. Okay, so there's a pink, a blue, and a yellow of a little, oh gosh, you guys know the character that I'm talking about. Sunbonnet Sue, that's what it is. Some little Sunbonnet Sue fabrics of 3 different colors. Oh, there's only like one of each of these prints. So one of each of what's in the half square triangles. Whew, the 9 patches. And then some more Sunbonnet Sue, but bigger print. So I have no idea what's supposed to be going on here. It says there's 13 each of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay. Okay, there's more than that. So it must be 13 of each color. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, there's 13 of each color is what it is. So I have no idea what was supposed to be being made. But what I think I'm going to do is see how big the blocks are first. They look like about 8 inches, but we'll see.
Should we show this off before you get too far?
Oh, yeah. Let me just see how big this is. That's 7 3/4. What are these? 7 1/2. 7 1/2. So these need to be trimmed before I do anything. But first, let me show you last week's project. In case you missed the long arm quilting of it video, I actually got to it right away. And last week's project is officially 100% done.
Top and bottom.
It doesn't matter which top and bottom. So there is last week's project. It's called Celestial because I think it looks like space. And now that it has the quilting that's waves and circles, if you want, you can go over to my videos tab and actually watch me long arm quilting this in 2 different angles, the actual on view and then the actual view of me moving the machine, since I am all free motion quilting. And then the back is awesome because you can see the quilting. If we just hold it straight long enough, you can actually see the quilting on the camera because it is a contrasting thread. Look at that. So awesome. And the backing fabric literally matched. It was like meant to be. And I bound it in those too. So some of the polka dots are landing on the edge of the binding, which is kind of cool. So that got finished. Yeah, I'll show that and some other stuff that I worked on tomorrow when I open some mail. But I want to get to what's going on here because I don't quite know. What did I say it was again? One was 7 3/4. Are they all off? Let's play. Oh yeah, that one's almost 8. All right, we're going to trim things. Can you pass me my square ruler behind you, please? The Quilter Select one, the one that says QS. It's kind of yellow in color, but the bigger one, not the smaller one. We're going to trim all this to a size. All right. So I'm going to trim all these. They don't really look like they need to be pressed. But I'm going to take everything down to 7 1/2 inches to match these. Let's do a couple actual measurements though, just because. Yep, that's 7 1/2. Let's measure one of these. That's exactly 7.5 also. So it looks like I just need to trim these all to 7.5 inches. So I'm literally going to, which one of these marks is the 7? Right there. So I'm going to kind of equal it on there because it's not quite, just so that it looks sort of like it's supposed to be that way. 7.5 right there and right there. So we're just going to sit here and trim these until they're all trimmed up. And that's what we will do. Right there, right there, right there, right there. They're not going to be completely equal, but we're going to make it work. Let's move some of this, though, out of the way. And then we'll do something with it all, with all those strips and stuff, too. So it's kind of funky, but I'm going to do my best to center the 9 patch. You know what I mean? So that it looks equal. The center one just looks bigger, so that's probably what's making it look off.
What size hoop do you use to make your embroidered labels?
What size hoop do I use to make my embroidered labels? Well, the only size hoop that my embroidery machine has, the biggest one is a 7 and 7/8 inch or whatever. It says it's 8 inch, but it actually only is like 6.5 inches in total workable space. It's not very big. What size font do I use? I don't know. I shrink everything to make it fit. I just choose something and make it. I'm pretty sure it's like a 1/4 inch tall, somewhere around there, because someone's asked me before and I measured the font and it was like a 1/4 inch tall. I don't actually look at the machine though. I just look at how big it lands on the thing. I don't pay attention to any of those numbers that are on the machine when it's running. Yeah, I'm not very good at, paying attention to stuff like that. Go. So what's everybody working on? You guys getting some stuff done? I have been managing to get quilts quilted and bound, to get that considered done in my book.
You did what,
And
7
then,
or 8 of them now?
Yeah, I've done 7 in the last week. And then the week before, I did a bunch more, which I showed you guys already, all those quilts. Yeah, I've been really busy trying to get the quilts quilted up so I have room to put all this new stuff that I have been making. Because it seems like there's so much of it. And then I've also been going in my fabric room and organizing because I have been boxing stuff up for a long time. And a lot of stuff was in the garage, and little by little I bring it in as I organize. Well, apparently I had another box. It was all scraps of quilts that I had made long time ago. And guess what? I'm working on that box now. Because I just have so much fabric to chop up. But once it's all pressed and stuff and not just thrown in a box, it actually is less fabric than it looks like. Because it was just all shoved in a box and thrown in the garage. Hopefully this doesn't take long to trim all these up. It's mainly just 2 sides of it, the seams are a lot longer than 7.5 inches. The top and bottoms are really close. So it's wider than it is taller. If you guys have questions, it's okay to ask while we're right here, while I do this. Get this all trimmed up.
Have you ever seen a matching envelope book for children that has lamented pieces that goes in the envelope?
Okay, I have to read that.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
have I ever seen a matching envelope quilt for children that has laminated pieces that goes in the envelopes? No. I don't know what that is. Did I just trim that already? Yes, I did. Turn it around. Trim the other way. Sorry, I'm a little slow at all this too right now because my arthritic hands have been driving me nuts since the day before yesterday, because I'm kind of struggling with rulers and cutting and sewing and all those things quilty that we need to be able to do with our hands. My hands just don't seem to want to do it. But we will prevail with all of this. I think what I'm going to do once all this is cut up is I'm going to probably, come on, right there. I'm going to probably just attach those strips to the side and bottom of each piece, or whatever I can get out of them, because I think it says they're 20 inches, but of course I did not check that part. I only checked its width.
How do you put your videos in fast forward?
How do I put my videos in fast forward? With an editor. I use the magical editing system to do all that kind of stuff. And for those that are curious why I do fast forward in my recorded videos, it's because I have been known as a start to finish quilter, and I don't want anybody to miss a step. So whether it's in fast forward or I'm actually filming it and talking to you, I don't want you to miss a step that I've done, just in case, because a lot of videos out there miss lots of steps. And in the beginning, when I was a beginner, I would have liked to have seen those steps. So whether they were talking to me or not, I still would have liked to known what they did between this section and that section. So I don't like you guys to miss that, because I wouldn't want to miss it. Because I get some people that say, why fast forward it? Just delete that section. But guess what? I fast forward it and I throw some music in to keep you entertained. If you don't need to see it, just fast forward it yourself to the next part. Which you never know that when that's going to be, because I'm very weird with editing my videos. It's not always the same each time. Hopefully I get these done quick. Maybe if I stand there, we'll go faster, but kind of not in the mood for that either. Almost done with the pink though, so I guess that's plus. Maybe I could just make that into like a sashing, you know, and just put it however, and then mix match the blocks all up. Ooh, I think that would look cool. Instead of having a pink section, a blue section, and a yellow section. That's what I should do. I should just mix and match everything. All right, pink is done. Let's move on to yellow. We're just going to go ahead and stand. And since I'll be standing and my head will be facing down, you can hear me better if I put you right there. All right, here we go. When I stand, it looks like everything is in a different spot. All right, there we go. It goes a little faster though, I think. Right there and right there. No, I did something wrong. Turn the ruler. Okay, I did something right. The only thing I don't like about rulers that have a 1/2 inch all the way around 2 sides is I constantly forget what 2 sides. My brain sees one side, but the piece sees another. There. So, I know I'm boring you guys with the cutting. I probably should have just pre-cut everything and said, okay, but you guys want you to see the whole entire thing when I start working on these projects from their bags. And let me tell you, I have quite a few of them, so for the next however many Sundays, this is what I'm going to be doing until I get some of these bags of started projects done. Some of them are mine too. Like I have a leftover pile of the glitter brown fabric from when I made those 2 glitter quilts. One is still hanging in the closet. One I've already quilted. I don't even know where I put that, but yeah. And then there's a couple other ones that I started that just sit in a bag. I started a mini quilt and it's just sitting in there. Got all sorts of stuff. We're getting there. There was only 7 of each of these, so shouldn't take too long. Any questions in the chat? Don't forget what you're seeing on the wall behind me is the Tula Pink Butterfly quilt that could be found with me and Eric doing it over on his channel, Treasure Heart Creations, on Saturdays. His is not Tula fabric, mine is Tula fabric, so I'm very curious to see how his is going to turn out. Because I've actually not even Googled it yet to see all the different colorways that people have done with the butterfly pattern. He said that I could see him on Pinterest, but I don't actually use Pinterest. That one's cutting it close. This will be cute. Very childlike. Other than long arm quilting this week, I really haven't done much. I got some, obviously I had to piece backs. Oh, I did make my yardage. Holy moly, did I make my yardage. Scott has to lift it to show you guys, but if you've ever watched my epic video, and I show you guys that I make yardage instead of the quilt so that I can use as backing fabrics, well, I just completed another 24 yards of it. Yeah, see this? It's very heavy. 24 plus what was on there. So there was probably like maybe 16 yards on there, plus I added 24. So this is all homemade fabric, by the way. Ugh. And it was so heavy that I had to actually have Scott come in here and help me to put it on the bolt because it was so heavy I couldn't even roll it as I was folding it in half and giving it a slight press to keep it, you know, not so fat on the edges. Oops, nope, this is wrong. Where I did it again. I turned my ruler. Okay, unturn it before I cut. Got to check. But yeah, I spent time doing that this week, so because I've been using a lot of it for the backings of quilts. So I definitely needed to make more of it.
How wide is the homemade yardage?
Homemade yardage is exactly the size of yardage. It is 44 inches. Except mine doesn't contain the selvage, so because I don't have selvage to put on my own fabric, obviously. So I made it 44 inches.
What is good soft cotton?
Good soft cotton? What do you mean? What is good soft cotton?
What is a good soft cotton?
What is a good soft cotton? Moda Fabrics, Benetech Fabrics, Robert Kaufman Fabrics. Hold on, I'm trying to think of one. The one that I like.
The Walmart named one.
The Waverly from Walmart is soft. Art Gallery Fabrics, I don't know why, but they feel silky-like to me. Oh, I love the feel of Art Gallery Fabrics. I'm not a fabric buff, so I really don't know like all the different brands, but I know some. And so those are all really good fabrics. Mostly found at quilt shops, except for Walmart's Waverly brand, obviously. But I like their fill of theirs. But Marshall Dry Goods has some good fabrics, some good quality fabric. And much more places. There's a ton of different brands. I do not suggest Temu fabric because obviously it's kind of thin and feels like paper. And then there's a couple other brands that, well, Joann's don't exist no more, but they had a couple brands that I never liked. And that was Country Classics. I couldn't stand the feel of that fabric. Oh my goodness. And then trying to think, there's bunches of others. I don't, again, I'm not a fabric buff, but I do like the feel of certain brands. If you want more recommendations, though, people in the chat will know because they pay attention to the brand of fabric too. This is not feeling good on my hands. This is taking a lot longer than it should.
I'm sorry.
Not much left to go. Everything else can be because it's all the right size. Any other questions?
Showing them about tomorrow. We're showing the quilts.
Yeah, we'll show you some of the quilts and stuff that I've been working on and open some mail tomorrow and hopefully entice Thumper to come in and say hi. He's usually up in the morning. It's the best time to actually gather that cat into one place. Almost done. I got like 6 more to go after this one. And then we'll start sewing something from it all. What I think I'm going to do, honestly, is I think I'm going to take all these 3-inch strips and cut them into 2.5-inch, you know? I mean, 2.5, 1.5-inch, and be able to sash and border this whole entire project with all of that, but with 1.5 inches, keeping out certain ones to make for the border, keeping them as 3 inches, but the rest of it, cut it all up. I think that'll work. And then it'll get another project out of a bag and out of my fabric room and onto my long arm eventually. So I think I'll be able to do a 6 across by 7 down layout.
You have a video on pot holders with binding that also make a hanging loop.
I have videos on pot holders, but not using the, actually, I may have the binding as a hanging loop in a really, really old video back when I was in the garage, which are really hard to watch videos because they are very bad. Not as in bad like what I'm doing, but as in the quality of the video was not very good at all. It wasn't until I moved into the house when I started having better video quality. Well, a little bit better. All right, let's swipe all this into the garbage. And then, oh no, I can't, I can do more than 7 across by 6 down. Hold on, let's do some math real quick. Sorry, I can't just do this math in my head. Times 6 plus 12. Yep, equals. I have 78. So let's see, 78. Let's do no, 8. No, 8 by 9. I'm doing math. 72. Ooh. How many did I just say I had? 78
Of what?
pieces total.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm typing it.
Oh.
I have no idea what you're saying.
8 and 8 is 64.
I get numbers on how hot it is everywhere.
9 is 82. All right.
We were talking about weather.
We're just going to have to put them up on the wall because I have no idea. All right.
Not
Here.
enough you could
Is there enough to set on point? I'm not quite sure about that. We'll see. Take all my Tula butterfly stuff down and not get it out of order while I place it over in my bin. Move out of my way, chair. I probably should have took these down before the live, but I just was being lazy today.
You want me to take?
Nope, I got it.
Oh, that's going in a certain order?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, you had to show everybody then.
Yeah.
Your awesomeness.
Everybody got to see my awesomeness, my hard work of the butterfly quilt. Although it's not shaped like a butterfly yet, but it will be when I get further. I got a lot more to go. A whole heck of a lot more to go. I have to make like 100 and something half square triangles, like 170 or something like that. And that's not even the end of it. All right. I don't know how many to go across. We're just gonna randomly put all of this. We need to bring these over too. In all sorts of different colors, because let me put blue over here so that way it's all 2 different blues to grab from. That way it's all mixed up nicely. 3 different pinks to grab from. Move all this out of the way, and then we'll make up our mind once we know how many across and how many down. I don't want to put yellow. Let's put pink. Where's pink? Right in front of me still. All right. There's 2 kinds of pink.
You're saying your colors are beautiful.
They are, but I didn't choose them. It's somebody else chose all this. I am just the assembler. I'm just going to be the person that puts it all into something. Let's do yellow.
Could do strips of the colors, maybe. What size did you square the block? What size did you square the block?
I squared them to 7.5 because the other pieces were 7.5. Oh, I don't want to have 2 of those next to each other. So let's put a pink. We're just gonna work on it like this for a second and see what we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7. All right, let's start with one of these. I don't think there's going to be enough to go every other with these, huh? No, there's not. No, it's not going to work. Let's just start with that. And this one can go next to that. About this blue under this one. And put this blue under this one. And then a pink, flowery one. No, a pink leafy one. Sorry, I'm just mixing it all up because I don't really know where we're at. I don't think I'm going to get an equal number out of all this because everything I did came up to 72 or 80 something, which I only have so many to work with. Let's do this one there. We'll start with pink up this one. A yellow floral one. Then we'll put in a blue. They're pretty. I like it. Oh, then we'll do this blue. Doesn't matter what goes next to what as long as it's, I did that already. Let's do this one. And this one. I'm going to have some of these next to each other because it's not going to work. Every other one. If there's only 12 of those, I think was what it said on the little paper. Yeah, definitely not.
that
68 is what I had. What am I doing? I'm grabbing a different. Oh, let's fill this in. Put that over there. And a blue. We're not even using enough of these blues yet. Let's use this blue here. And this yellow right here. Oh, wow, that piece is the wrong size, probably. Maybe not, I don't know. Just looks weird because I'm not straight on the wall.
I don't think anything.
No, none of it's going to be an equal number. That's a lot of blue in the same spot. No. Let's put it there. Let's put this yellow right here. That's a very bright yellow, too. 7 times 9 is 63.
Yeah, the colors go in the diagonal.
I could. We're going to see what we get from this first.
More solid.
Do I have any what?
Any colors close to cut a few more solids.
Any colors close to cut some solids? Not that I am aware at the very moment, but I could go dig through and find something. Why does it feel like the blue is overpowering?
Because those ones are darker. That's why. Not because there's more of them, because they're darker. If you take those darker ones out and put in a different color for it, then they wouldn't feel solid. Just like the pink ones too.
Yeah.
Those pink ones, those are also overpowering because they're darker. Because they're darker, they pop out.
Yeah.
They don't match. They do, but they don't. They're darker.
Let's move that out and put it over here. Oh, you know what? I already have that yellow right there. Let's put this one right here. And this one right here. Pink. Let's put a pink there. Let's put this pink right here. And pink this. Now they're starting to be spaced because I don't know how to lay everything on the wall nicely. I already have that yellow right there. Let's put this pink there. And we'll put this yellow over there. Pink right there. How about a blue? Oh, I can't use that blue because I already have a blue above it. This blue right there. We'll put a bright pink right here. There. And let's go down this side. blue. Then a bright yellow. And then a regular yellow. Actually a pink because there's pink. I don't even know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's technically what I'm doing. So I'm out of yellow. That blue. This yellow. And this yellow. Let's do the other side and do 9 by 8. Is there enough? Not of these. I have 4 left of these. But I could go into the stash room and grab a fabric that would be similar. Because I do have some similar-y type fabric that I could add to this.
Yeah, go do that.
Hold on a second. Let me put these all up here first, and then we'll go look, and then we'll move things around. Oh, I already have that one there, but that one there. Let's replace this one for that one. Replace this one for that one. And then grab a pretty yellow. Grab a last pink. And then I have one of each of these, one of each of these, one of each of these. So we'll put yellow down here. All right, I'm going to go over to the fabric room. Oh, it looks cool on camera. I'm going to go over to the fabric room real quick. Scott's just going to bring the camera up. I mean, he probably could go in the fabric room with me, but it's a disaster. He's just going to show you guys. So the camera's going to move what the colors look like. I'm trying to think of where I stuck those colors that are similar to what's there. I don't have anything that's pink. It's all yellow. It's all yellow. I don't want to use that. They're 7.5. I need a single fabric. I need to look at those colors again. I'm talking to myself in there, yet you guys can hear me. We need, let's see, another color that's in here. Green. Huh. All this has a green in it, but there's no green. We need green.
They do have green flowers.
Let me look at my vintage fabric for green. Yeah, I'm going to sash it all too. Something green. That's not the right colors. That's not going to work. Nope, not the right colors. Aha, this will work right here. I'll put the other fabric away later because I kind of can't at the very moment. It was in my vintage section.
That'll
It is
work.
a green checker.
That'll work. Take it up there and put it like that. That'll work good. Oh yeah. How much do you have? Do you have enough? Make at least like 4 or 5?
1 yard and 23 inches. How many to go one more row down? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. This is so old, it still had pins in it from when I used to pin everything closed, remember? the little tiny pins, because I used to pin the fabric clothes. Now I don't even bother with that. I could sash it with this green and then use all this around each block to make this whole entire thing bigger. Because there's enough to do 2 sides for every single block to make this whole entire thing bigger, and then sash it with all this. So tilt the camera down. Here's the idea, what I'm talking about here. I can take these ones with the smaller print on them, saving the ones with the bigger print out for the border. Take the smaller ones, slice them in half, because that's 3 inches, so I can get 1.5 inch. Then go around 2 sides of the blocks with it, or go all the way around, because I'll have enough to go around the whole block then. How many? If I split this in half, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the green is sashing. Hold on, let me do some brain thoughts. And there's probably 5 of these. 2, 3, 4, 5. That gives me 10 pieces if it's in half. I mean 20 pieces, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 30 pieces. 10, 20, 30 pieces. 3, 4, 5. That gives me 42 half pieces, but there won't be enough of this to go all the way around the whole entire thing. Or I can just take this and sash it all. Yeah. See, it would be in between. See? So it would be in between as sashing. Obviously, every other block would be, you know, a solid one. And then just use all of this as 3 inches and make borders for it. That's actually even better idea, because that's less work. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sash it with this. And then the rest of all this will be borders, but I will take all of this, the ones that I only have one of each, and turn these into cornerstones. How about that? Yeah. How big of a sashing? What do you think? 2. No, that leaves me 1 inch for those. We'll do 1.5 inch sashing. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. There should be enough of this. It's 1 yard and 23 inches. And I'm not even going to worry about these extra blocks. These can just be thrown aside. That's what I'm going to do. What do you guys think? Yeah?
So far, they like it. Perfect plan. Yes to the
Yep.
green.
Yeah, it works perfect because it matches really nicely. All right.
What's your brain thoughts?
I need to cut a nice straight edge. Let me find the smallest part of this, right about there. Line this up. And this will be a rectangular quilt. Right now it's just the opposite way. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, the extra, you know, whatever. We're going to do 1.5 inch sashing, because that will leave me plenty enough room to go all the way around. I don't even have to do cornerstones, honestly. I can do it without cornerstones. My blade or my cutting mat is bad.
Could be both.
Yeah. I have worn this one out. I should put this one in the other room and get a new one for in here.
You could just change the blade out. You got
I could change my blade. My blade might make it better. 3. Hold on. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8. Still straight. Here it is. 9. 10. 11. And not cut again. And we'll do 12 to start. And then we'll subcut. What was it, 7.5 that I made? Yeah, it was 7.5. We're going to cut 7.5-inch subcuts from all this. I'm just going to stack them up. Why? Because I can. This shouldn't take too long, hopefully. And yes, I'm opening all the pieces up and laying them out so that I can get the most out of each piece. What?
You can make a throw pillow with the extra blocks.
I could make a little throw pillow with the extra blocks. Again, I had no idea what was being made with this, so obviously I'm just doing my own thing. Probably should have ironed this. This fabric has been on this thing so long that it's funky. It's not staying flat at the bends. All right, let's cut some 7.5s from at least this pile first, and then I'm going to do the no cornerstone method. So I'm just going to put sashing between each and then do long pieces for the up and down. Well, it doesn't matter if you do side to side or up and down, honestly. So we're going to grab this and cut 7.5-inch.
You need corners in your borders. Could you cut one block like a disappearing 9 patch and do 4 of them?
If I need corners in my borders, can I cut what?
One block like a disappearing 9 patch and do 4 of them.
I could. I'm trying not to add any extra work to this.
The question is if you could. Yes, you could.
All right. I'm cutting 7.5-inch to go in between everything. This should be enough to start with. 4. Push all that down and get 5. 7.5-inch subcuts. Let's start sewing some of this on, see where we need to be. I don't like overcutting. That's one thing I don't like to do. Honestly, I don't also like to. How's the color placement? Does everything seem to be mixed up pretty good? All right, I think so. I'm going to go this way, by the way, because I'm going to build it sideways due to the fact that I didn't put it up high enough to reach and I really didn't want to bend far down. So this will be my top corner technically. So I'm literally going to sew a 1.5-inch to all the sides of all this. And I'm going to grab this one and sew onto this one. And then on all the way until I get to this, that one I won't. Because that is me building the quilt. Because the outer side will get its own. So only the pieces that are going to be within. is like the perfect green color. This was a good choice. And it gets it used. Now you guys know why I have so much fabric, because you never know what I need to match something. It doesn't go together, but we're making it go together.
It looks great.
Yeah, it does. It's the perfect green color. And 2 more. And then we'll throw them aside to get pressed. Hopefully we'll have Scott keep them in order. You'll have to turn the iron on. And then we'll hook them together. All right, this is the last one.
So you ready, Sam?
I'm going to pass them all to you, but keep them in the stack order that I sent it to you. Please.
You don't even have the iron thing over here. Where's that at?
It's in the other room. It doesn't need to be because the ironing board is thick.
Okay, then don't ask me to iron. You don't.
Well, then I will. All right, so I'm going to keep them in the order of which I sewed them on, because that was the order that I laid them on the wall.
Oh, you got black all over this iron, right? What have you been doing to it?
Nothing. It's just doing that all on its own. This top one.
Okay.
All right.
Barely poured any water in.
Next row.
Can't pour much slower than this. What's going on with this thing?
I don't know. Oops. Put it upside down. That would be right. Right sides together. It was a Tiffany moment. I tend to have those a lot. It's doing that all on its own. It's going to get blacker as you use it too. Trust me.
I don't believe you. I think you messed with
I think the iron is burning. Is why.
It's a Black & Decker. Okay, there. There's the order.
No, it's not. It started with pink.
Then it's upside down.
Thank you.
Reverse order.
All right. There's. All right. They go this way. No, they don't go this way. You have them completely out of order. Pink was first. Then it was a yellow. Then it was a blue. It was a pink. Then a pink. Then a yellow. Then a blue. Then a blue. Hopefully that's correct, because now I'm going to sew them. All right, I got to make sure. So I went ahead and pressed the next row. The first one was blue over the pink because I want to make sure no two same ones are next to each other. Okay, then we have blue under this one. Okay, that's too many pinks in a row. So then it would be yellow.
Okay,
on
it's
top of
nicely
this
cleaned
pink.
up now. Mostly. Mostly.
And then the next one was this pink, so let's put that blue there. And then the next one was yellow, so let's put this blue and that pink. Okay, that one, and then that one, that one. That's too much pink.
You should take a picture of the wall, honey.
No, I'm just going to press them. I'm used to it so that it doesn't get out of order. Then pink. Then blue. And then that one will be that. Okay. And then yellow from the wall. It is not difficult to change the blade on my rotary cutter. Nope. All right, I'm going to press this real quick. Yeah, I have a video on it.
Did I get fired?
Yep. Excuse me, I need to pass by. Sorry, guys. My Tula project is in the way. Oh, no, I don't. See, it takes up the whole ironing board.
I could have said it right here.
All right, guys, I'm going to quickly press this and then sew the next row together. We're going to put this back on the wall so that we can pay attention the whole entire time. All right, here we go. So that was there. Oh, wait. Perfect. All right, let's hook these together now. Jim put a link in for whatever it is. Oh, for changing the blade. Yes, I have a video on it. It's very easy to do. And just one quick tip. on these rotary blades. It's not lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. It's lefty-tighty, righty-loosey on this. It's the opposite. So just remember, you're turning the opposite way. You're turning as if you were tightening a screw instead of loosening. I don't know why they did it that way, but that's how they did it.
Sashing on the wrong side.
Is the sashing on the wrong side? What do you mean? It's on the correct side. Oh, never mind. How did I do that? Oh, that's why. This one is wrong. Sorry. Yes, it's on the wrong side of the one, not the rest. No, don't rip the fabric. By the way, guys, this fabric is vintage. It just feels vintage. It smells vintage even. It smells like my other older stuff. And by vintage, I mean probably made in the 80s or 90s. Maybe even earlier in the 70s. Oh, come on. I have to be careful seam ripping it. All right. Just fix that real quick. It's the only one that it's backwards on. Thank you for spotting that. Because I wouldn't have. I would have just thrown it back on the wall and went, something is different about this row. All right. Okay, let me just give this a quick press. Put this back up, and then we'll join those together when we are done putting the sashing between everything. Probably gonna have to cut more, but we'll do that in a minute. Let me at least get this row done. And technically I can just do this, finger press, grab another, because I'm, you know, and then just press it all at once. Because either way I'm breaking thread as I go. And grab one of these. And grab a block, and then I won't get anything out of order. There's a bunch of ways that you can make things, you know, you don't always have to do it the same way every time. Even you can, you know, try different ways, see which way is faster, more convenient for you, less irritating on your mind, you know, however float your boat when it comes to piecing. You can do what you want because it's your sewing room and it's your project. Oh, we're out of bobbin. Oh, they're way over here. Wondering where my little snippies went. All right, let's try that again. Okay. I just can't sew all of a sudden.
Sit down, Missy. Take it for load off. You need water or something too?
Nope, I have water. See, so this is real life. This stuff happens to you just like it happens to me. So, you're not the only one. Don't stress. Just rip it out or do what you got to do and then come back and sew it again. Let's put that seam ripper away though. Out of sight, out of mind. Some of these have been sewn before. So there's little threads hanging out.
Wendy gave you $10. She says, I love it when you make a mistake. It makes me feel less bad.
Oh, thank you, Wendy. Mistakes happen in everybody's sewing room. It's not just you. And you know what? We learn from them. Now I know to actually pay attention to putting my sashing on because, you know, that's not what I was really doing. I wasn't paying attention. I was just kind of sewing. There are those occasions where I kind of get ahead of myself and start sewing super fast, which is what y'all know me for, is getting things done really fast and super fast and light speed. But guess what? When I purposely do that to be done, then I kind of mess things up. So I just got to watch what I'm doing and pay attention. All right. After we get these pieces on, I'll press it and then we'll cut some more because I don't want to overcut, but I don't want to, you know, not have enough. There goes my machine. Doing its thing. And the last piece to hook on. All right, I'm going to go ahead and press this whole thing.
Will you have enough for long strips?
Will I have enough for long strips? I should. Hopefully. There was 1.23 yards and I'm only cutting it at 1.5 inches. So, and I don't even think I've reached 20 inches of cuts yet. All right, so this row goes right here. Yeah, that was like the perfect green color. Look at that. I love it. All right, those are already cut. Let's cut some more of this. Honestly, I'm going to take this over to the iron because these pieces have been folded so long. They're like memory folded. Do you guys see that? Memory folded. So they need to be flattened.
I can iron that for you while you do whatever.
You could. But I can't do anything without these.
Oh.
Yeah, these have been folded up too long. That's why they say it's good to take your fabric out and air it out and move it around and refold it and stuff, because once it stays folded so long in a certain position, it's like it memory creases to that position, and then you struggle trying to get it out. Takes a lot more ironing to get it to go away. This should help. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. So one more. That should be hopefully enough.
Looking pretty cool.
Yeah, I just got to put the in-betweens. I think it looks like it's about 63-ish, 62 inches or so. All right, put this here. Let's cut 7.5-inch segments. I just stacked all of it up. I don't know how many layers are right here, but I'm going to do them all at the same time. 7.5 right there. 7.5. 7.5. 7.5. And one more time. All right. Now I have a bunch. And keep going for a while. Grab from the wall and start going again. Let's put that before it falls. All right. When I work from the wall, I think it's a lot easier for me to stand than it is to sit. Because that way I'm not up and down, up and down, up and down. I just stay up. And I'm going to kind of give it a little bit of a finger press along the way. That way it's easier when I get to the iron. This is so cute. I love this fabric. Oops, I did it without sashing again.
Do you ever have your cutting mat warped?
I've had my cutting mat warped because of ironing on top of it with my ironing board.
How do you fix it?
Fixing it, you put it out in the hot sun and let it flatten itself out. Put some books or some weights on top of it to get it back down. I suggest wetting it a little bit. Don't dry it off, just wet it and then let the sun beat down on it to reflatten it out. If all else fails, go buy a new one. These ones right here, the 36 by 24-inch ones are $36 at Walmart. And it's a Fiskars brand. So, I mean, really?
And you get a
And
free
it's
one 'cause
two-sided.
lifetime.
It's two-sided. So,
And it's a lifetime. So you
and
get
it's a
free one.
lifetime warranty. If it does bow or get nicks in it, like mine has some deep nicks in it, it could get replaced for free as long as you have your receipt. I'm not sponsored by Fiskars, but that's just how they work. It's lifetime guaranteed. I just go through them too much, so obviously I buy new ones because...
Well, they only give you one.
Yeah, you only get your one lifetime replacement, but either way, it's guaranteed for life, though. If I didn't cut as much as I did being a content creator and doing 10 times more than the average person, then this mat would last me. My first few lasted me a long time. But then they just started getting less and lesser time because I started making more and more quilts for YouTube videos. You know? And then so Sunday came along and I really made a lot of quilts. Every Sunday, something new usually. Either every other Sunday or every Sunday. For the last however many years. It's a lot of quilts made in my sewing room. Thousands of videos. I've made thousands of quilts. So I've gone through probably like 15 or so of these. I've gone through 5 because I have extra ones. Yeah, I went through 5 of the smaller ones, the 24 by 18 inch, the fat quarter size. And then I started buying the bigger ones. And this is, I think, about the 15th one. I really go through them a lot. More than the average person should. I did for a long time. I had an alpha green one, an alpha cutting mat, and it was one-sided. The other side was solid, one solid color. And so I'd flip it over to do other things like trimming blocks on the back side. And then when I was cutting fabric and stuff, I'd do that on the front side that had the markings. That way I used both sides equally because or else I'd be stuck with a side with no markings, you know. But I think that one went a lot faster than any other mat that I've ever gotten. Got 2 more. One more. And all right, I'm going to press this row, throw it up there. And since I finger pressed, it should press out a lot faster. Give me the measuring tape real quick so I can measure how big this is. So when I do the long sashing pieces, I have an idea how long to make them. 63 inches. So yeah, it was close. I said what, 62 or 60 something. So yeah, it's 63 inches. And just because you have it out, let's measure this one for making sure that more than one is staying at exactly 63 inches. Obviously the cord is in the way, but okay. Quality control, they are 63 inches. So that is how long we will cut. Let me grab this paper. 63 inch, because I will forget by the time we go to do the sashing the other way. So far 7.5-inch squares and 7.5-inch sashing. And it's technically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 across by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 down. However many blocks that is. Karen always puts a document of all the things I do in the Facebook group. So if I say it out loud, then it'll get written down. Is what I'm doing. And that's divided into every other solid square versus 9-patch, which are made from, let's just take a wild guess here, 3-inch squares. Yeah, they were 3-inch squares to make the 9 patches. But I had to trim them to 7.5 inches, so that wasn't on the square, I don't think, though. Because I didn't make that part. Oh, put this on first. I just make, if I remember, then there it's easier to have them just like lying like this, and then I can remember to do sashing, which is 7.5 by 1.5 inch sashing. After this, because the time is going by so quick, I'm going to show you guys how to put the rows together without cornerstones. So there's literally no seams to nest up. Problem is you're going to want these to stay in a straight line. So I'm going to show you guys how to accomplish that. For those that are beginners and have no idea what you're doing, it's best to know, because the time likes to go really quick sometimes when I'm really into a project and I forget that I'm not going to be working on this next week. I'm going to have it finished by then. May not be quilted, but the top will at least be made. Because I got another project I can pull out of a bag next week too. I have so many bags of stuff. And I really got to get to getting them done, or else they just sit in a pile in the room, and you know. And then my kids will end up with it all when I'm gone, and they'll be like, why did my mom have all this crap?
They ain't gonna keep any of it. It'll probably end up in the trash.
Nah, maybe we'll get lucky, and once I'm gone, the kids will see my videos on YouTube, and at least one of them will be like, you know, I can make that because mom made it, and then go into my stash and start making stuff from all my things. Because there's plenty of machines to do it, you know, plenty of everything to make whatever they want for the rest of their lives. And there's videos for them to follow. Oops, let's do a sashing first. Why do I keep grabbing the wall? I don't know. Instead of the sashing. All right, I'm gonna press this and I'm gonna show you guys how the rows go together. And everything else I will do off camera. All right. In between sashing needs to be 63 inches. So I'm going to move these already sewn the not sewn ones to the side. And I'm going to cut 2 1.5 inch strips off of here for now.
Do you think you have a quilt in each shoebox worth of fabric?
A quilt in each shoebox worth of fabric.
Is that a whole quilt?
Yeah, each one of these should have a whole quilt in it. Yes. They're not big
Small
quilts, though.
quilt.
They would be smaller. They would be lap size. But if you took all 4 of my boxes, there's 4 boxes of 2.5 inch squares, 3 of color and 1 of solid. If you sewed all that together, you'd probably have a king size quilt because that's 4 boxes worth. All right, I'm going to take 2 of these strips. So we measured from here to here, from end to end, and we got 63 inches. I did it on more than one strip, so I know that all of these are going to be 63 inches. That is my magic number. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to cut the selvage off. And I'm going to take my fabric and sew it together. I do not do diagonal seams. I only do straight seams. Except for binding, then I do the diagonal. So I'm going to take my 2 pieces, right sides together, and sew my seam to connect the 2. I'm going to press it, and then we're going to go ahead and cut this to 63 inches. So what's half of 63?
31.5.
Okay, so we're going to cut 31.5 inches from the fold. All right, so here's the fold. To use your cutting mat so that you don't have to keep trying to lay this out on the floor and get 63 inches, use your cutting mat. Divide whatever number it is you need in half. Mine, what number was 63? Divided in half is 31.5. So I'm going to put my fold side on this far side. I'm going to line the whole thing up on a line right here. My fold is on the line, and I have my 31.5 inch available to see. I'm going to line this up right here, and I'm going to make a cut. Remember, my fold was on that side, so when I open this up, it should be a 63 inch. I'll just lay it on here so you can see. 63 inch exactly piece. Look at that. So now we're going to start with row 1 and row 2. I'm going to have Scott put the camera down for 2 seconds. Oh, let me cut 2 more and sew them together so we can do more than 1, because we do have a little bit of time left. We'll do more than 1 for now. 1 and 1 more. Camera is moving. And 2. Let me just. Oh, sorry. I'm going to make another 63 inch piece real quick. Fold it in half. Cutting the selvage off to start. I'm going to open up my 2 ends, hook them together like this. Oh my goodness, come on. Get that out of the way. Sew my 2 ends together. And I'm still going to have all these other pieces too that I can sew together if I get close to running out of fabric. But again, I started with 1 yard and 23 inches on here. At least that's what the little tag said. All right, I'm going to press this one and make this also the size it needs to be. And I'll show you how. Now that the camera is turned down, let me just get it pressed real quick. Again, this fabric has been on the shelf for so long, it's bent on the folds so tightly. All right, we're going to do that one more time so you can see since the camera's down. Here's my seam. I know that's exactly half. I'm going to put this in half. Like this. Put it on top of each other. All the way down. Line it up. I'm going to take the fold. Stick it right here on this line. Way over there. And then I'm going to line it up on a line on the cutting mat all the way down. Just like that. And half of 63 is 31 and a half. So we're going to go to 31 and a half right here on the cutting mat and cut it. Remember, the fold was on that far side. All right, so now I have 2 sashing rows ready to go. I'm going to show you how to do this. We're going to take row 1 and row 2 off the wall. Here's row 1. Move those over there. Move that over there. This is a giant mess. All right, there's row 1. And then row 2. I don't do this very often. I usually always add cornerstones, but it does look good without them as well. Here is my sashing piece. First things first, it's going to get measured. Not measured, but you're going to clip it and pin it in place. It should be exactly the length you need it to be. Okay, there's mine. Exactly the length that needs to be. I'm going to go ahead and sew this one on, and then we'll put row number 1 on top of row number 2. So let me sew this on. Normally I would pin it in place to make sure it stays nicely, but we're just going to go ahead and sew. Oops, I did not mean to cut the thread. I'm standing to sew. It's a little bit different. Alright, my end should be the right size, and it is. Line it up. That's why you pin it in place. There. I'm going to go ahead and press it towards the sashing, which I've been doing this whole entire time. The first sew Sunday was September 30th, 2001. 18. That's the first one he found.
8 years ago.
That's 8 years ago. Wow. In September. Holy moly, that's a long time. There's probably more because some of the older ones have been deleted off of YouTube or privated off of YouTube for the fact that I've said cuss words or, something happened during a live stream that was not allowed to be on live stream, like I was listening to music in the background, and that's, I get in trouble for that. I used to get in trouble a lot in the beginning. All right, here we go. This is the part that I hate. Pins. You're going to take your row 1 and your row 2. You're going to put number 1 on top of number 2 because I sewed the sashing on top of number 2 first. And you're going to go all the way from one side to the other, and I'm going to plop a pin down here in this end. I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to come over to this end and plop a pin over here. And then what we're going to do is a magic trick to keep these nice and straight. The first thing you are looking for is right here. If your sashing, see, right here, is on top of the previous sashing, like this, at this end, you know that this end is good. So what you're going to do on this end is you're going to peel it back and see. And look, this needs to go over right there. So I'm going to slide it over, fold it down, and plop in a pin. The rest of all this will work itself in. So I'm going to come to this one. This one is exact now. So you can see, look at my end. It's kind of bowy. We're just going to work the fabric in because it's never going to be exact. So again, I'm folding it back. I'm literally putting those seams right on top of each other, like that. Putting that pin in there. And then my end is matched up. So now every single one of these should be close to being matched up. Again, this will get worked in because I'm going to have the sashing on the bottom. So I'm going to go right here.
One lady just says, pretend you're putting them in a voodoo doll.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, you got to show me a voodoo
Hold
doll.
on. Now that she said pretend I'm putting them in a voodoo doll, I literally have one. I have a pin voodoo doll.
One of your friends gave you that.
It was from a friend that lives locally, and she gave me this for Christmas, I think it was. She found it in the strange Christmas gifts. And the cool part is if you remove a pin, oh, I haven't pulled them out in a long time. The head just popped right off. Anyways, when you remove the pins, the holes actually disappear. Oops.
Hey, I'll deal with it.
There's that. Anyways, but that was my little voodoo doll. I actually have one. Everything else on the shelf fell when I pulled my voodoo doll down because it's voodoo, and that's just how it works. All right, so I'm going to go to the next one. The end right here is not matched up, so I'm going to pull that to where it's matched up, and then look right here, line those up. Once I know it's lined up, I'm going to plop a pin in it.
Oh, yeah, wow, that shows you can't pull it out.
Yeah, it hardened.
Yeah.
All right, next one. That end matches, but I doubt this does. Yep. So it needs to slide it down just a smidgen. And remember, the bottom fabric will get sucked in at different amounts, so everything will work out, trust me. So it doesn't matter if I put whatever one on top or whatever one on bottom. It's gonna work out. That's matched up. Holding it in place. I can feel those seams touching on the sides right here, on both sides, top and bottom. I throw that pin in there. Come to the next one. I always fold it back, match it up. Also, I'm not a perfect piecer, don't mind. Some of these, actually it's a perfect cutter because some of these are just longer than they're supposed to be. And I'm dragging stuff around this room. And that goes on there.
Are you adding cornerstone?
I'm not adding cornerstones. This is the cornerstone-free method, my friends. Actually, let's make that pin go in there a little bit better. All right, so now I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine. And I am going to, it doesn't matter, I'm going to put this one on the bottom and this on the top because it seems that the bottom fabric is looser than the top. No, I'm going to use the iron right now. I'm going to come right up to that, hold it in place, and it should have stayed equal. Holding it, sewing. Come right up to the pin, pull it out. This is what pinning allows me to do, continuously stitch. All right, let me put these pins in the pin thingy before I stab myself, since I've been burning and stabbing myself like crazy. And before I press it, I'm going to go ahead, lay it right here. I'm going to go open it like this. And look at that. See? Completely straight. Completely straight. Completely straight. Completely straight. 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 And straight. Look at that. So that is how you do it without cornerstones. So nothing to nest up. You just have to line it up. But you don't line it up from just one end when it's folded like this. You don't just say, oh, it's lined up right here, that's the end. No, you literally have to line up the top and the bottom to get it nice and straight. So let me press this real quick. Yeah, the cord is being a pain today. The iron cord is what we're talking about. It keeps getting tangled at the end of the ironing board. And Scott has already tripped over it and soaked the floor. And the iron did not land face down, so it didn't scorch our brand new carpet. All right. Row 1 and 2 are done. But what I'm going to do is attach the next one. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on here. I'm going to remember this pink is always my top corner right here. So I'm going to go ahead now and attach this sashing piece. And to prevent any bowing and all that, I will just go ahead and pin it in place. So I'll pin one end, come down to the next. Usually I cut to size, but we don't really want this project to bow out just in case or start shifting from one side to the other. So that's why I'm actually pinning, which helps, even though I don't like to do it. There are just times that we need to. See, like right now, like this is so cooling. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start sewing. No, I'm not gonna sew. I can't when there's no needle. No thread in the needle. Because I'm moving around the table so much. There it goes. Bye-bye. I cannot thread this because I cannot see the hole. All right. Grab this again and sew. Try to keep this dumb seam from flipping. Why did I put my pin thing so far away from me? Because I was counting on stabbing myself.
As you go, would you attach batting to each block or each entire row?
If I did it as quilt as you go, the batting would go to each block, because that's what quilt as you go is, but you could also do it by row.
Becca's sister spilled the red drink on her new white rug.
No, I don't. I don't remember. All right, I'm going to press this back real quick. And then we'll attach the next row to it, row 3. And then I should be out of time for today. Like I said, I will finish it off camera, but at least I showed you how to do it. Oh, this looks so good with this green. This like matches perfectly. All right. I have it on this side now, but we're going to grab that next row, which goes right here. Come over here. I'm going to put my pin in the end. Like this. All right. This one is matched up. So let's fold this back. And it's not, so I got to shift it just a little bit. Oops, a little bit more, right there. Put a pin in it. Come on, there we go. Thank you. Go to the next one. Right there is nice. Let's fold it back, and it's not right here. Right there, now it is. Hold it in place. Put the pin in it. Go to the next one. This one looks like it really needs to go that way. It does. There we go. Lined up. Put the pin in it. Oh, man. Kind of going upside down from what I was doing, but I'm just showing you can do it either way. Fold it back, line it up. All right. Oh, that one's perfect. And if it doesn't land straight, you know what? Who cares? It's your quilt. Nobody's going to really know the difference. I mean, sometimes the fabric creates an illusion and it looks like it's crooked anyway because you use the wrong kind of fabric. Like this one is a checkered fabric, so from afar, all of it might look like a solid, so it looks okay. But if it was like a stripe or something, you would know.
Uh-oh, did you lose it?
Yep, I don't know where it went, and I don't want to step on it.
I know. Here.
Oh, found it.
Let me come help.
I found it.
Okay. I don't want you stepping on no pins.
Nope, we don't need no pins in my foot today. I've already got burns all over myself and everything. I
Show
literally,
them your burn scar.
I burned myself, and it's under the Band-Aid from here to here. And then yesterday, I don't know what I was doing. I was flipping around, and I scratched my arm, and then I felt it all wet, and it was just gushing blood. Like, I know you guys don't want to hear that, but you can see the Band-Aid's full of it. We couldn't get the blood. It just wouldn't stop bleeding. And then I had to have Scott put the Band-Aid and the medicine on it. And I haven't taken it off since because I'm afraid if I take it off, it's just going to be a nice, wet, soggy scab, and I'm going to have to scratching it off again and make myself bleed again, you know? Kind of sucks. But that's from an iron, and that's from reaching. So don't do what I do and reach for things beyond a hot iron, because I tend to do that often, and that's how I always burn myself. Hot iron burns. And I didn't even realize I didn't even realize I was doing it either. Like, when the iron was touching my skin, I didn't even realize it the first second or two.
You should have let me iron.
And I was like, oh, that's hot.
You should have let me iron. Huh. If you would have had me iron it, you would have burned yourself.
Yeah. But you don't iron in, at 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, sorry, You're going to iron at 4 in the morning, though. You can't do that. So...
All right, let me press this back, and then row 3 will be on. Let's just put that there.
It's getting dangerous.
Yeah. This is a dangerous iron. An iron is a dangerous thing. Keep the grandkids away from it, or the kids away from it, or toddlers. Hell, keep the husbands away from it, unless they really know what they're doing. Keep your daughters, your kids, if it's plugged in, if they don't know what they're doing, keep them away. I don't know what I'm doing, and I burn myself constantly. We got to prevent burn tragedies that are happening with us quilters. Can't let the next generation do it. We're scarred enough for them. All right, I'm going to put this up on the wall. Even though this is going sideways, not up and down. You can tilt the camera back up now.
Right. Keep the pets away also.
Oh, yeah, keep the pets away. Definitely. If you guys have cats and dogs that like to climb up on your stuff in your sewing rooms, keep them away. Like, really. I mean, I burn myself. I could only imagine what would happen if Thumper laid next to me all the time. He would be on fire. So here's what it's with the sashing, you can see. This one's a little off, but you know what? If I press it a little bit better, no, it's off. This one's good. That one's good. That's good. That's good. Good. And good. So all those are good except for this one and this one. They're kind of off a little. So imagine around the last and final edge. This will be in here. This will go around the final edge. The same sashing. Let's put it up here so you can see better. I'm just going to pretend it's there. Like that. I'm hoping there's enough fabric. There should be enough fabric to do that because I already did 2. So it's 2 more, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12 more. 1.5 inch strips, which would be right here. Then it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I should be able to go all the way around with what I have left right here, hopefully. And if anything, I could still use the leftovers of these and piece them together. So there should be enough. And then once those are all the way around, take these and just, I'm going to chop them into smaller segments, I think, and then go all the way around with that. You know, and just, I could probably go around more than once, you know. So if I don't have enough of the grain to go all the way around, I could just finish it by going all the way around with these strips. So that's what I'm going to do. That's the game plan. Oh, they can't even see up there anyway. Will you make the camera just tilt up so that they could see what it would look like with the final sashing and the borders? I didn't realize they couldn't see all the way up there.
Yeah, they can.
Okay, so it'll, hopefully there's enough. I think there's plenty of sashing pieces to finish 1, 2, 3, 4 more rows worth. And then, like I said, I just need 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 more strips to do the sashing. 9 if I cut them and then just use that leftover for the next piece. And then hopefully there's enough to go all the way around with the yardage at 1.5 inches. If there's not, I can do 1 inch and still, it'll still look right. You know what I mean? If I do a 1 inch all the way around, because it'll still be stopping the quilt with the green. So I will hopefully have at least the top done by next week, and I'll be able to show you guys the finished top. If not, maybe I'll get the whole quilt quilted. But that's it. That's all I got for now. And hopefully you guys understood how to do this without, you know, putting cornerstones. I think it looks great, and it'll look great when it's finished. And that's it. That's all I got. Any questions before I get off of here? Because it is time for me to be done for the day. I've been standing in whatever too long. I've been working too long. I'm working too hard. Ooh, I can just put those in like 9-inch segments all the way around. Whatever. Yeah, I'll have fun with it. All right. Well, since there's no questions, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. Thank you guys all for hanging out. Hopefully you had a wonderful Sunday with me. Hopefully you all had a wonderful week, and look forward to whatever it is you got to finish this coming week. Like, lots of stuff. Well, in my world, at least. I have a lot to do. So, see you guys next week.
Well, tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, tomorrow.
Tuesday.
Yeah, tomorrow I'll be
It's
on
not
for a
tomorrow.
mail opening. Or Tuesday. I don't know if it'll happen tomorrow morning or Tuesday morning. Just keep your notifications on and watch out, because there'll be a mail opening, and I'll show you guys all the quilts I've been working on.
Yeah, it's a small quilt show.
Yeah.
Mini.
A mini quilt show.
Mini.
All right, that's all I got. So, see you guys.
Mini.
Bye.
And it's
Peace
Thumper's
out.
birthday tomorrow.
Yep, Thumper's birthday is tomorrow and everything. Bye, everybody.